Hello, everyone. I appreciate you taking the time to attend this call. I'm Sid Rajeev, Head of Research at Fundamental Research Corp. And our guest today is Mark Bince, CEO of BIGG Digital Assets. We initiated coverage on BIGG last month. BIGG is a blockchain technology company with two solutions. One, a crypto trading platform. The second is they offer products and services allowing businesses and individuals to trace blockchain transactions. So the agenda for today is I will kick off the call with our thoughts on cryptos and attractive opportunities in the space. And Mark will take over from there and introduce us to his company, highlight some upcoming catalysts, and maybe things we can watch out for. For listeners, you can either wait till the end to ask questions, or if you have questions during the presentation, feel free to type them in and we'll try to respond to them. We encourage questions to be directed to BIGG since we have Mark on the call today. Here are some key disclaimers. Please take a moment. Okay, so let's get started. Bitcoin prices are at $36,000 today, down 35% in just 2 weeks. Bitcoin was easily one of the best performers last year. For example, in the 12 months ended March 2021, Bitcoin was up 850% versus S&P's 35%. Gold was just up 6% in those 12 months. The total market cap of cryptos worldwide is about $1.6 trillion. It is still a small percent of mainstream asset classes. For example, gold is valued at 13 trillion, global equities are at 90 trillion, and real estate is at 280 trillion. Now, we believe demand for cryptos will be driven by 3 factors. Number one, fast execution of international transaction. Second is ability to bypass fees associated with conventional banking system. And the third one is its long-term potential to be a capital preservation asset. Now, although cryptos are currently far from being safe haven assets, we believe they have the potential to be perceived as safe haven assets over the long term and capture a percentage of the global investment demand for gold. A key similarity between gold and Bitcoin is that both have limited supply. Let's see how we can forecast Bitcoin prices if it were to capture a percent of gold's demand. We estimate that the total value of gold stocks is approximately $9 trillion. This is based on a long-term gold price forecast of $1,400 an ounce. A 5% market share of gold implies Bitcoin prices should be about $21,000. At today's prices, we estimate that Bitcoin is at 9% of the gold market. And as you can see from the chart here, at 25%, Bitcoin will be over $100,000. This upside comes with a number of risks. This slide here shows that what we feel are the highest risks of cryptos, especially Bitcoin. Bitcoin and crypto prices have remained very volatile. As mentioned earlier, they are far from being considered as a mode of payment and as safe haven assets for investment. Most of the current investment demand currently comes from speculation. Now, the second risk is Bitcoin's scalability. This refers to the limited capability of the Bitcoin network to handle large number of transactions per second. For example, Bitcoin can process 5 transactions per second, while MasterCard and Visa can process thousands of transactions per second. The third risk is government intervention and regulations pertaining movement of capital across borders. I feel this alone is a vast topic for discussion another day, but we feel governments worldwide will impose some sort of regulations, monitoring, and controls on cryptos. Just yesterday, China announced that it will ban financial and payment companies from providing services related to crypto transactions. The fourth point I want to mention today is that central banks worldwide are working on their own initiatives for cryptos called the CBDCs, or central bank digital currencies. In summary, just the same way technology has revolutionized most sectors and applications and changed our daily lives, we believe there will be a global shift towards digital currency. And based on the points I just mentioned, we believe there is room for both CBDCs and private cryptos to coexist in the market. Regardless of which currency gets adoption, we believe companies that offer technology or services to facilitate this shift offer attractive investment opportunities in the market today. A technology that is best to capture this wave is blockchain. This chart here shows the use of blockchain by application. About 16% of cross-border transactions are currently using blockchain. Another example is 9% of assets and goods management is done by blockchain. This chart here shows more details. About 33% of digital currencies use blockchain, and about 31% of identity protection services also used by blockchain. Blockchain is also going to be used in B2B services, B2B cross-border transactions. As you can see here, the forecast for these transactions are expected to grow significantly in the next 5 years. Blockchain use in banking and financial services is also expected to grow exponentially. So to conclude, we believe that, again, as mentioned earlier, we believe that companies offering technology or services to facilitate the shift to digital currencies, transactions, tracking, payments, offer one of the best investment opportunities in this space. With that, I would like to welcome Mark Binns, CEO of BIGG Digital. Mark, you'll be able to share your screen. Please go ahead when you're ready now.
All right, thanks, Sid. I'm going to just present here. You can tell me when you can see the full screen.
Perfect, Mark.
Okay, thanks for the lead and introduction, Sid, and welcome to everybody who's attending, both shareholders and new potential investors in BIGG Digital Assets. I'm going to do a pretty quick walkthrough today at a pretty high level. We have about 30 minutes total, so I'll probably spend 10 minutes walking through the company, and then we'll do a roundtable and Q&A where we can get a lot of the key facts out that people are looking to learn about. BIGG is called Compliance First Crypto. We believe the future of crypto is a safe, regulated environment, and we believe we can make a lot of money doing that, participating in that ecosystem of a regulated, safe environment. To do that, BIGG Digital Assets owns two companies, as Sid mentioned. One is called Blockchain Intelligence Group. It is our crypto forensics company run by our president, Lance Morgan, and I'm going to walk you through that company in sort of high-level detail in a minute. And the other one's called Netcoins. Netcoins is our currently Canadian-focused crypto brokerage business for buying and selling crypto assets, and that business is run by Mitch Demeter. Together, these two businesses, which are wholly owned, 100% our own intellectual capital and IP, make up BIGG Digital Assets. On the CSE, it's under ticker BIGG, and in the States under the QX, it's BBKCF. At the parent company level, myself, Kim Evans, our CFO, and Lance basically support the subsidiaries and make sure they have what they need in terms of resources to grow the business, and we support the public markets side. This is an exciting business that we're in right now. There's a lot of changes. There's a lot of talk about regulation, and we're sort of in the right place at the right time, and the business is scaling and growing very quickly, which I'm going to show you today. Super fast because of time. My whole background is basically public markets, leadership, growing companies with a good product market fit. I'm going to show you our revenue curve and growth today. Lance, serial entrepreneur and blockchain expert who founded Blockchain Intelligence Group. Kim, great public markets CFO with great cross-border experience. We're both listed in Canada and the US, and I'll talk about some uplisting plans as we go. Robert Whitaker came from Homeland Security. He used to work in crypto crime investigations and lead teams for the US government. He works with Lance and Blockchain Intelligence Group, both to build the product that our customers need and also to connect us to large US government contracts. And Mitch Demeter, on the far right, is the president of Netcoins. I call him Crypto Royalty. He actually developed and built the world's first Bitcoin ATM, installed it back in 2013 in a coffee shop in Vancouver, here up in British Columbia, Canada. And then he scaled that business and put Bitcoin ATMs around the world, mostly out on the West Coast, down through Asia, etc. When I found him fall of 2017, he was already retired and getting a bit bored. And I said, come back with me and let's build a premier exchange in Canada for trading crypto, and we'll take a regulatory bent to it. And Mitch jumped in with full force and is leading that business, which is having tremendous growth right now that I'm going to show you guys. So Blockchain Intelligence Group, as I said, crypto forensics business. It's all about building security and accountability into the cryptocurrency space globally. We have two products, one called Clue and one called BitRank. Clue is really used, and you'll see in a visual in a second, to track the movement of crypto through the blockchain for law enforcement to do their job. And BitRank does risk scoring of transactions and is mainly sold to exchanges. Right now, the big traction is with the Clue product. So that's the one I'm going to give you some more information on. This is what the interface looks like. And don't worry about trying to be able to read it and see all the small print. It's not designed for that. It's just to give you an idea of the tool shows the movement of crypto from wallets to exchanges, through tumblers, through mixers, to ledgers, hard wallets, you name it. Everything on the blockchain is trackable. And we actually track the 8 major blockchains. So we obviously have Bitcoin, but we also have Ethereum and all the tokens that are built on the Ethereum blockchain, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, Stellar, Lumen. Together, we have over 3 billion data points in our product, identifying wallets and where they belong. And one quick example, the use of the tool, if someone stole your Bitcoin, you could report it to the police. They could log into Clue. They can put in the wallet address where the coins were stolen from, and it will track those coins as they move through the blockchain around the world, through exchanges, etc. And let's say they ended up at Coinbase. What they would do is they'd send a subpoena to Coinbase and they would say, freeze the coins in that wallet. We believe they're proceeds of crime. And here's a warrant. We want to know who owns the wallet at Coinbase with these coins, and they'd issue a warrant for the arrest of that person. And then if it goes to court, our tool is used in court often. Law enforcement agents will pull it up, show the data, show how they track the coins, and prosecute. Our job is not to be police. Our job is to provide the best tools possible for law enforcement globally to do their job tracking the movement of crypto that's involved in illicit activity. It could be anything from weapons purchases to drugs purchases, to child pornography, theft, fraud, all of these different things. And we have clients all over the world. Our biggest client is the US government. We have contracts with the US Secret Service. We're involved now with the DEA recently. And, all over the world, things like the Hong Kong Police Department, Singapore Police Department, etc. This product is needed globally as this ecosystem continues to grow. There's 3 other main competitors in the space. One's called Chainalysis, one's Elliptic, and one's called CipherTrace. They're all private companies, and Clue is owned by Big Digital Assets, public company, investable in today by you. In terms of valuation, Chainalysis, which we run into day in, day out in pitches, recently had a $2 billion valuation assigned to them on a $100 million capital raise. We believe the Clue product sits side by side with it, just as good. We beat them out on contracts. And if you were to be highly conservative, let's say Clue is worth somewhere in the range of $500 million purely as tech. That's probably the entire market cap of Big Digital Assets. So just like to highlight, the value of this tech. There's only 4 companies, as I mentioned. There's a 3.5 billion data points in our product. It took 5-6 years to develop, more than $20 million to develop, and there's big barriers to entry for someone new to come into this space. So these are the products that are going to be the future of essentially crypto forensics and law enforcement for crime involving crypto. And we have one right here under our umbrella. Now, our other company, Netcoins, is our crypto brokerage. The interface is designed to be really easy to use, really quick for people to get in, buy crypto, especially that are new to it without being too confusing. Amazing customer support. If you want to talk to someone on live chat or phone or email, we are there. We're ready. We're across different time zones, weekend support, you name it. But one of the things that sets us apart is that we've been working proactively since 2018 with the regulators in the Canadian space. And we went to them and said, this space needs to be regulated. There's too much fraud and uncertainty in it, and it's hurting adoption and it's hurting trust. And the CSA, which is the Canadian equivalent of the SEC, said, we agree. Let's work on building regulation. And we started basically educating them mainly on how Netcoins worked, of course, and how we did everything from customer onboarding to fair trade execution, to crypto custody, which was a big topic, especially in the last 2 years, about how do you keep crypto safe and in cold wallets. insurance, etc. We worked with 2 national law firms in that education process, BLG, some of the best securities lawyers in the country, and Miller Thompson, who had probably the best crypto lawyer in the country, a guy named Derek Fall. And we started that conversation in the fall of 2018. Fast forward basically 2 years, September 29th, 2020, we put an application into the CSA, which is 480 some odd pages long, to get a restricted dealer license. This would be the first, what we call open loop or full service crypto brokerage or exchange in the country to put forward an application like this and help move the industry forward. We think it's really important, again, for general adoption and trust, and Netcoins is right at the forefront of this. It's taking time to get the approval. We thought it could come a bit sooner, but we're having regular multi-time a week conversations to iron out the last points to get this license across the line. Our target is, sometime between now and the end of May or into early June. But we'll only really know when we actually get it because we're not in charge of the regulators or their timeline. That said, if you're reading the news, you can see that the CSA and the regulators in Canada are keen to regulate the space. They're telling all the platforms to contact them with their plans to become regulated. So on the back end, they're going to start granting licenses, and we're going to be at the forefront of that because of our position early on in working with them. It's going to create a big catalyst for the company. First of all, we're going to get a huge amount of publicity, we believe, out of it. TV, radio, newspaper, it's a big deal as these first regulated platforms will come online, and a lot of free marketing from that. We also are going to see a big competitive reduction. Every time I see the data, I see that there's more market participants, as we call them, in Canada in the space, but the government and the regulators are going to shut down everybody that doesn't have a license. And we've already had a number of exchanges approach us and say, hey, we don't think we're going to get through this regulatory process. Are you interested in buying us, et cetera? What you're going to see is a real consolidation in the space. And it's going to eventually look like the stock market space does, where there's a few exchanges, there's a bunch of brokers, they're all regulated with licenses, and they control the market, and they're very valuable companies. Also, as we go through this, we believe we're going to get a lot more treasury buys out of corporations that are going to step in even further into crypto as it becomes regulated, and they believe they can buy from a safe, regulated broker. And fund business, the ETFs that are popping up, the different asset classes, they need to buy their crypto somewhere, and Netcoins is going to be at the front of the line, again, with our license. Overall, we think there's going to be a very significant volume rise in our transactional volume, and along with our revenue. Our general revenue model, for most people who have seen it, is about 1% on every trade, and that's how we make our money. So if volumes go up by 5x in the first quarter after regulation, which we believe is possible, obviously there'll be a directly corresponding revenue rise. Just some quick numbers. Q1, monthly revenues grew like 337% quarter over quarter. You can see the annual numbers. They're huge year over year, like 1,976%. Trading volumes up similarly, 266%. Monthly active users, 177%. Assets, 227%. New subscribers, 236%. That's all on a quarterly basis. Q1 numbers came in at about 260 million in trading volume. Since then, we've also released some numbers. About April, we were up to about 1.5 million in revenue in the month of April, again with another, I believe it was 35% growth. And we also recently announced that our tracking in May is similar again, up over 30% month over month. And we continue to grow at a very quick pace, and we'll show you a chart in a minute. I'm going to show an example of some of our marketing here quickly. So we are starting to run a lot of national TV ads on news, NHL, live sports, etc. And let's see if this works. It should only be 15 seconds long.
Netcoins is Canada's easiest way to buy and sell Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Simply create an account at netcoins.ca. Fund it and see how easy it is to buy Bitcoin. No funding fees and free cash withdrawals. Netcoins, we make crypto easy.
So pretty quick 15-second ad there. The important part is we're out there and expanding advertising as revenues grow, and we can reinvest profits back into advertising, and it's working extremely well. We continue to track up in major jumps monthly in every major metric that we have. We'll go to the next page. We're also doing out-of-home advertisements. This is actually a live shot. This is not superimposed. These are real bus ads. in Vancouver, looks like Granville and Burrard. We're getting a lot of engagement out in public from people seeing our ads. We're also in print media. This is on the front page of the business and sports section of the Globe and Mail, maybe 2 weeks ago, just to give you an idea of some of the advertising out there. And it is bringing in customers at a cost of acquisition that is very small compared to the lifetime value. We've also started doing influencer marketing, and we're getting a tremendous response. That's Andre DeGrasse on the right, Canada's fastest man, they call him now, sprinter. And on the left, that's Brendan Gallagher, assistant captain of the Montreal Canadiens. We're doing a whole bunch of different influencer partnerships through various social media channels, which continue to drive our platform awareness and also, of course, trading and revenue on the platform. Almost done. Just a couple of things that are really important. I get asked this question all the time. People always say, keep telling the market. Volatility is good. It's really, really good for us. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, the more volatility, the more up and downs, and the more knee-jerk reactions the market has, the more people trade. They panic sell, and then people come in and buy the dip. And that makes us more revenue. We are literally built to take advantage of volatility. Up or down, Netcoins is making money, and the more volatility and the more volume, the more money we make. And Blockchain Intelligence Group is completely agnostic to the price of crypto. Again, it's just used to track the movement of it for law enforcement. So, we sleep well at night when we see a lot of volatility. On the big side overall, here's the revenue curve. We just posted Q2 projections. We always try to be conservative. I don't like to overpromise and underdeliver. We just showed a 5.75 million for the quarter. So, if you put that out over 4 quarters, it's almost 24 million annualized. But of course, there's a very significant month over month growth in it. So that should end up being much higher than that on an annualized basis as we go forward. But you can see the upward curve happening very nicely to the right. And just a couple of other big points, specifically for today, the company's really healthy. We have somewhere in the range, depending on the price of Bitcoin, of $70 million of cash and crypto in the bank. We're cash flow positive. Our revenues are exceeding our cost to operate, including marketing, on a monthly basis. There's no guarantee we stay that way because we may on purpose continue to really aggressively ramp marketing. But in general, the company is not burning cash. Significant growth. I mean, Netcoins has been growing since the fall at a rate of 30 to 50% month over month. We have some major catalysts coming up. There's the granting of the Netcoins license, continued release of growth numbers for Netcoins. We're about to launch a Netcoins app for iOS and Android in June. The business is going to continue to provide opportunities for investors to notice it and step into the market. To reiterate the point, we earn money on crypto movement up or down. It doesn't matter. Some of our biggest revenue days are when crypto drops. And today is one of those examples. What happened today, right? So China said they were banning crypto. Elon's back and forth between, I love Bitcoin, I hate Bitcoin, I like Dodge. And then today he says, we have diamond hands. Either way, it's creating a ton of movement in the market. And we make more money when there's more movement. So we're having a fantastic day today, even though crypto took a huge hit this morning. And then you saw it recovered a ton too. We primarily are seeing buying on our platform, a lot of buying as people are coming in and continuing to add assets and stack sats, as they say, and build for the future. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to Sid. You can check the news on our website. You can check the cap table on our website. There's my contact information after this. If anyone wants to get a hold of me, I'm very accessible. I tend to respond to people as quick as possible, and investors in particular. marketbigdigitalassets.com. Back to you, Sid.
Thank you so much, Mark. As I said, volatility is great for trading platforms, up or down. We can now open the call to a Q&A. Listeners, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in, or you can click on the raise hand option. I'm going to unmute you. But while you're talking, Mark, we got a lot of incoming questions. So let's start with that. But listeners or attendees, if you have any more questions, feel free to type them in. We'll try to take as many as possible in the next 5 or 6 minutes we have left. But the first question, what are your plans for the recently completed 28 million bought deal financing?
Yeah, so the idea of that is to increase float for Netcoins in our coins that we trade to make sure that we can keep operating extremely smoothly for our customer base. In fact, today with huge volatility and volumes, you've seen a lot of competing platforms actually were down and couldn't serve their customers. But we've put special attention into making sure, we're bulletproof from that side, but we also have the coins and the capacity to deliver to customers. So as a broker, when someone buys from us, they expect to have their coins instantly. And we have liquidity providers that we work with, and we can only settle with them so often, usually once a day. So in the meantime, we basically run our own float and provide coins to customers that are buying. So we will continue to add coins as required for the float. Most of what we've done is, we're adding Tether, which a lot of people are buying to take the platforms to buy altcoins in rare coins that we don't trade in. And that's great. And Tether has no market risk because it's pegged to the US dollar. But overall, as you was seen in the prospectus, if you read it, the addition of that capital is to ensure the smooth growth of Netcoins and our trading platform.
Okay. Next question is a little bit more specific. I don't know if you can give that number out, but what does Netcoins platform volume look like on a day like today?
Yeah, we can't release individual daily numbers here in this, I guess, forum, because that would be considered selective disclosure. So I encourage you to watch our formalized press releases. As we send them out, we'll continue to update the market. As you can expect, though, if volumes are up, say 50% across the board on exchanges or globally in coin market cap, we'd be up 50%, right? So these days of big volume spikes, we see big volume spikes and big revenue spikes correspondingly.
Okay. Next one is, which of your two segments will be larger in 5 years?
Well, that's a good question. Netcoins is growing very quickly. It's Canadian focused. We do have significant expansion plans for Netcoins, planning to enter the US market in the next 3 to 6 months, hopefully closer to the 3-month mark. We are planning to open up Europe as well. But Blockchain Intelligence Group is already global. It already is selling into a global market. And as you see companies like PayPal and MasterCard and Visa and stuff start running payments in crypto, I expect you're going to see an explosion in adoption and transactions. And as that happens, unfortunately, you're going to see crime tied to it as well, and fraud, which is going to drive huge demand for Clue. And again, with only a limited number of products in the space, we think, with time and that market growth, it's going to be a runaway success for the company. So 5 years out, I think it's a horse race.
Okay. Next one. If there is a decline in appetite for private cryptos, how will you position your company?
I don't think there's going to be any decline in appetite, would be my answer. We've been in this industry for a long time. Mitch has been, for example, fundamental in helping develop it as far back as 2013 with his Bitcoin ATM. I think you're going to see volatility in prices. It was funny. I saw an article, and maybe it was in the Globe and Mail right before this, that it pretty much declared crypto is dead. That proclamation has happened, every 2 years since the invention of Bitcoin. But it continues to thrive and move on and show greater adoption. And with our conversations with other market participants, again, like PayPal, credit card companies, there's going to be continued demand for this asset class, significant demand. And even if prices fall, again, we're going to continue to make money on that, because that's going to create volume. Even if it's volatility and panic that the space is going away, it's not going away. We have really strong belief in the movement of the market over time, the evolution of the market, and we'll be there helping people buy and sell along the way, profiting from it.
Got it. Next one is also, I don't know if you have disclosed this number. How many verified Netcoin users do you have?
We've not disclosed that number. It's a very competitive market in Canada. There's probably 15 pretty decent brokerages or exchanges, and then there's a lot of other small ones. So we keep most of the numbers private for that reason, other than the top line revenue and transactional volume numbers that we put in press releases. Okay.
When will the app for Netcoins go live?
Mid-June. That's the target. We're sticking to it. We're working hard to get the app out. I know everybody's keen on the app, and so are we. I think it'll be great for us, but it certainly has not hindered our growth. We have, our HTML5 site, which runs on all mobile platforms. works extremely well. We see a tremendous amount of trading and volume already, of course, on mobile for our platform. So, growth is good, growth is solid there, but it is coming, and the target now is mid-June.
Okay. What are the typical terms of your B2B business? I think what they're looking for is maybe some idea of pricing, period. The main question is this a recurring business?
Yeah, it's a recurring revenue model. So it's a SaaS-based revenue model, software as a service. And we charge on usually an annual recurring contract. So you sign up, and one seat, they can vary a lot depending on who we're selling to, what sort of features they get in the product, but could be anywhere from 500 or 600 US for a year up to 2,500 US for a year for one seat for one person to use the software. So if you sell to a small police department in let's just say rural Idaho, for lack of a better place, and they have 5 police officers, they'll buy 5 licenses and they'll pay upfront, and then they'll pay every year to continue using the software. And we see tremendous reoccurrence and stickiness to the product because it works for people, and they can do their job.
Okay. Why does it take long to add new coins?
That's a great question. It doesn't actually take that long. We haven't added any new coins in a number of months, probably at least 6 months, because the regulators won't let us. So in the Canadian market, as we're going through this regulatory process, they're looking very closely at what coins platforms trade. And do those coins have proper storage? Do they have proper insurance? Do they have proper liquidity? And they're concerned, of course, about the safety of retail investors. They don't want retail investors investing in a coin that's at 48 cents one day and it's at 3 cents the next day, and all their money is gone. And it's because of lack of proper liquidity in the market, risk of various things that could go wrong if there's not proper storage fundamentally. So while right now we are getting licensed, we're on hold with adding coins. We're getting the ones we have on the platform approved and agreed to. And after that, we will add coins, but we will do it in concert with approval from the Securities Commission. And that's not going to be unique to us. Everybody who is going to get licensed in Canada is going to have to go through the same thing. And everybody in Canada is going to get licensed with time, or they're going to be shut down and not be part of the ecosystem. So there's a lot more to it than just our decisions. And that's why. So it's on hold until it's time where we can actually add with a regulator's blessing.
It's a good segue into the next question, actually. What's the risk of not getting a license?
I don't see any risk. We have, good relationships. The regulators want everyone to get licensed. So they want to give out licenses, and they want to protect Canadian investors and consumers. That's essentially their mandate. They will make sure that platforms operate in a certain way, again, with proper customer onboarding, proper custody, proper insurance, proper trade execution, proper liquidity. And we have those things in place, and we'll continue to adjust anything that's needed. But we've been at the forefront of these conversations dating back 2 years, and I truly believe we'll get over the line.
Okay, I see a bunch of questions more, but let's go with the last 2 just to on the time limit we have. But then the next question is, it's about listing on NASDAQ this year. What milestone do you expect or need to hit in order to achieve this in 2021?
So I don't think there's any one milestone or milestones. I mean, the business needs to keep growing. Our market cap is no different than a number of other companies that have in the crypto space that have moved to the NASDAQ recently. Bitfarms, a crypto mining company, recently got listed on the NASDAQ, and congratulations to them. A number of other companies in the mining space have applications pending. We have businesses that are as healthy as those, both from a market cap and certainly from a revenue, true revenue, after you take in capital depreciation of a mining business and growth on our business. So, there's a lot of things to do at once, but, as we said other times publicly, we hope in the latter part of this year to move towards that process. We have good relationships with lawyers tied to the NASDAQ and the process of the uplisting there. So, we're going to keep pushing on that. And in the meantime, we have tremendous liquidity on the OTCQX in the States. We're one of the top traded stocks there. It's very easy for almost everyone to find and buy big digital assets under BBKCF. So it's working really well in the meantime.
Okay. I see a question. Do you think BIGG is undervalued today? If yes, what's the fair value? I'll take that question mark. So if you want to check out our report, we initiated coverage on BIGG last month. We've been putting out notes on the company too. So I encourage you to check out our platform, researchfrc.com, and you can sign up and access all of our reports, notes, which has details of our valuation, fair value, and everything you would need to know. But final question for the day, Mark. What are the catalysts, upcoming catalysts for the next 6 months?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that earlier. Obviously getting a regulatory license is a great one for the business. We'll be announcing, revenue numbers, growth numbers, trading volume numbers for the Netcoins platform. We'll be looking at customer acquisition announcements and, critical industry-leading partnerships for Blockchain Intelligence Group. And, probably there's things that we don't even know yet, right? We continue to look at partnerships actually. So there's some interesting stuff with Netcoins around, obviously I mentioned geographical expansion, but also product expansion. There's obviously adding the app, which I think the market will be excited to see. And then there's other partnerships with companies around things like Netcoin Pay and Netcoin savings accounts and product evolutions that'll add new revenue streams for us. And make the product even more attractive to Canadian users and then eventually international users as we launch in those markets. So, there's a full docket of things coming up that are going to be valuable to our investor base and our shareholders and our company valuation.
Thank you so much, Mark. And thank you everyone for taking time today to watch this video. A recording will be uploaded on our YouTube channel shortly. Please ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and also sign up to a member of our platform, researchfrc.com. You'll get alerts when we publish new reports. And of course, you'll be able to see our list of top picks. Again, thanks, Mark. Thank you, everyone. Wish you all the best and stay safe.
Thanks, Sid. Have a good day, everyone.